We go. Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to interview Elsa. So, Elsa, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Elsa, can you please let everyone know what your full type is?
So my type is ESFP, and in OPS that's double feminine, SEFI, consume, sleep, play, blast.
Eh, And
Type 2. Yeah.
there we go.
I
There we
knew I forgot something.
go. All right,
I forgot
sweet.
to write it down. Yeah.
Um, all good, all good. So, what did you think and how did you feel when you got this typing results?
Um, I was very surprised because I thought really like I was an IJ. Surprise, surprise. But I think I kind of figured it's more likely that I'm wrong and Dave's right. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna trust him on this and then kind of feel it out for a couple of days. I asked him a few questions and we had a bit of a back and forth. And now I'm just like, I can't I can't unsee it. It makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why did you think you were an IJ? And then when it finally clicked, what was that realization like when you were like, oh my God, I'm actually an EP, you know?
Well, I think I just saw the masculine in I.
Yeah.
And also, so I live with my partner. And I was like, but he's the one bringing home all the sensory chaos, and then I'm the one who has to kind of clean up after him, which may be true. Maybe he's like even worse in that regard, or maybe it's like masculine on OE on him or something. So I was like, no, I'm not the one like doing the crazy consume, like overgathering like different things, clothes, food, whatever. It's him. So it just didn't fit my narrative and my stereotype.
Yeah.
But I think kind of when it's like, no, but you do the like you're not allowed to conclude before you've kind of looked at the sensory and you're leaning on that. I was like, yeah, that's absolutely correct. I do that. Absolutely 100%. So yeah, I think I was just staring at at the masculine and I. And then also quite a lot of people in the community thought they saw SI as well, like lead. So it caught me off guard really.
Well, I mean, if we're going by the looks game, you look like an ISTJ. So,
Don't I? Right, thank you. I was like, I look ISTJ or ISFJ, like for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't use the looks game because it's a trap.
No, it
Because like,
is. It really
you
is.
might have an ISTJ, parent, and then they pass the genes to you, and then that's why you look like, that, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Like I've seen some INTJs kind of look like ESFP like, so it's a little bit tricky too, right? Um, but anyways, I think it's cool that when you have a masculine function, you cannot not see it. So I think for you, the fact that you can see the masculine NI, like 100%, it's valid because you would be able to see it. And not only that, you
Mm,
have your sleep as double masculine. So of course, you can see
yeah.
that inner world so vividly. But we'll talk about that next. I want to talk about your first animal first. SF consume,
Hmm. Hmm.
SEFI. Double activated also. So double activated SF consume.
Yes.
Before I talk to you about that, actually, I just remembered something real quick. Earlier when you were saying that your partner's more messy than you or more chaotic than you, it might be because
Yeah.
also you're social type too, like broad responsibility. So yeah,
I come to realize that. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we're coming to that later, but I asked him, he's not into ops, but I was like, I asked him a few questions about like, how do you feel when you're like having responsibility? We're having to manage a few things.
yeah.
I got interesting answers. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I want to hear it later on, but that's really
Yeah, yeah, I'll save it.
all right. So again, double activated SF consume. What's going on there for you?
A good question. I was kind of asking Dave too, and this is completely anecdotal, but I think when people think about SF consume, they see somebody who's like maybe like especially if it's a woman, stereotypically like gathering a lot of clothes, they look all like made up, really owning that part of themselves. Maybe they're good with the makeup, like buying 100 shoes. I don't know. That was kind of my my bias. And I'm really not that. That's not what my SF consume is at all. Um, I was like, my partner literally has to like buy me clothes sometimes because I just won't. I won't prioritize that. And I think maybe SF consume can look very different depending on um what your FI has locked onto, right? So I think I'm very much like, well, I'm not going to prioritize the clothes because I don't, Elsa, I don't find that important. Whereas I do see that I might like video games for one is very big. Like I was like, oh yeah, but I will go into these kind of consume sprees where I'm playing a video game and oh my God, it's been 8 hours and I didn't realize where the time went at all. And I will also often feel like the leaning on the data. I'll find myself saying, "Oh, I don't know yet. I haven't consumed that. I don't know yet. I cannot speak on that." Then the little NI will kind of peek up, being like, "Oh, but I kind of think this, but don't quote me on that. Like, I need to let me research first, and I'll go do that." Um, so I think mainly video games, like researching obscure topics that's in like the flavor of my FI, kind of like that.
I think also because you are a social too, so you're demon flex, right? So you don't care about like the typical stuff that the stereotypical ESFP would like buying clothes, makeup, and all that stuff. Because like that's what
Mm,
I think that's a lot of times either correlated with flex or it's attached to your FI. So in your case, it's not attached to your FI, so you don't care, right? So but can you do it though on special occasions? Like let's say you're going to like a like,
oh
do
yeah,
you use your flex?
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I thought you meant like dressing up.
Yeah, yeah, dressing up. Exactly. Yeah, dressing
Oh,
up.
that's what you mean. Yeah, sure. Um, I'll put on a outfit, do some makeup. So yeah, absolutely, I can look presentable. I can do it. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
but
not
only
like I'm
special
showing up with.
occasions, right? Like when it's like it's like a special occasion.
Yeah, or if I'm like, oh, I kind of had extra time today, or sometimes honestly I've realized that I'm feeling like shit, and I'm just staying home, but I need something like I need a pick me up, and maybe then I put all on like a bit fancier clothes and like do my makeup, and then I just sit at home studying, and the kids are like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "No worry, it's just it's for me." So yeah, those two situations, I suppose.
Oh, how old are your kids?
They're not, they're my stepkids.
Okay,
So this is, yeah, this is going to, oh God, I hate telling people about this really.
you don't have to.
So no, it's fine. They're older. They're two teenagers um, and then an 8-year-old. So they are my partner's kids from previous marriages. So yeah, that's why I'm 26 and I have teenagers, like just to explain. People are
Okay.
always thrown off by that. They're like, wait, you have what? How?
That is interesting though. Yeah, like probably have to explain that a lot of times.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. I'm like, oh my God, now I have to like, how did you meet him? Why is he so much older? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I got like how I got there really. I just am here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
All right. So SF consume is a lot of times it's correlated to more like something more instinctual. Um, so usually if you're going to consume something, it's something that's easily digestible. Like my girlfriend, for example, has double activated SF consume also, even though she's an INTJ. So she
mhm.
loves watching like trashy shows, like the trashier the better. Although she's an IJ, so she's attracted to chaos, right? Because she's like, oh, I don't want that in my life, but I want to see it. Like she loves like the Kardashians and like she'll watch like stupid shows like Bad Girls Club and all that crap. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
where like girls are just screaming, pulling each other's hair, fighting and stuff. Like she just loves this. Or like we'll be in an airplane, and then my girlfriend will be like, I hope people fight, because
People fight.
yeah, because like she's like an IJ, so but like she's like you're always attracted to opposite, right? So
Mm.
like as an EP, I do like an organized room, for example, right? even though like I'm an EP and it's not my best skill, but I do like it. Like that's why I like to stay in hotels because like, oh, everything's organized, you know.
Oh
Uh
yeah, it's lovely.
yeah, but so for my girlfriend it's like, oh, double activated SF consume. I want to see people fight. I want to know people argue and yell at each other in the airplane. I'm like, really? I don't, like
Ooh, I don't know. That makes me nervous, but
yeah. So
good for her.
yeah, so it's kind of funny that but it's different though, because like like I think IJs have like that kind of like maybe an invasive thought because like they're like, oh, everything has to be organized, but they're like, if you try to suppress that like chaotic side, it's gonna come out, right? So
Oh yeah,
for us as an EP, we're supposed to be the most controlling, right? Um, when we go in our swing, but we'll get there. We'll get to your blast, right?
yeah,
So that's why I'm just curious what like your SF consume is like. But then you kind of explained already with your video games and obscure topics.
yeah. I'm
But
trying to think if I.
but
Sorry.
part of consume also is external um image. Okay, so that's why a lot of ESFPs they put a lot of makeup on, or they might dress nice clothes, or if they're a dude, they hit the gym, they get like really jacked, right? And then like it's because of like there is an image that you're trying to portray. Like a lot of ESFPs are really good looking, right? Like Brad Pitt, for example, it's just like it's just like you have that image, that SF, like you have to look SF or cool and popular, right? Um,
Mm.
so do you try to project an image that you're like cool and whatnot, or when you were younger, did you do that? Or did
Oh no, not at all. And this was so funny because this was one of the first things that Dave said, like in his audio, like he was like, "Oh, Elsa, you're ESFP, you're the cool girl." I was like, "I'm really not." Like, oh wow, I was a nerd. I did not look cool. I was never perceived as cool. Um, I guess maybe I did do the skydiving. And I will bring that up sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I did the skydiving, and people are like, wow, no, that's really cool. So I guess that's like one of the few times when I feel like, oh, I'm perceived as cool. And I try to, uh, or maybe with like what I'm studying is very much attached to, and that sounds very weird. Maybe that sounds kind of TI, like it's attached to what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I've done this. Like it's very, uh, yeah, it's not so much aesthetics. I think I'm more proud of what I'm doing, which yeah, I guess it doesn't really fit the anecdote of SF consume, but that's the experience for me.
Okay, so I wonder if it's because of your double masculine NF sleep. So you're more, like what is more you is the hippie side, because NF is like the hippie, the NF,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So because it's also a savior and it's double masculine, do you find that it's because of that sleep that you're because I noticed that when we're talking, you're doing a lot of sleep processing.
Oh
So
yeah, I go in all the time. When the eyes go back and forth, that's when I'm in.
yeah, no, I can see you
Yeah.
sleep processing while we're
Yeah.
so it's like you like there's no way you're not saving your sleep. Like 100% you're
Yeah.
sleep. So you're like a double introvert essentially, right? Even though you're like an
Hmm.
EP, which is kind of weird, right?
It's
In like
super strange. Yeah.
so let's talk about your NF sleep. The first one I'm gonna ask you about is NIFI. What is the NI recurring pattern, the recurring emotion that you experience in your life? Can you name some recurring emotions that you tend to experience?
Oh, anger. A lot of anger.
Okay.
And it surprises people, I think, because I'm very like I'm double feminine, right?
Yeah.
So throws people off when they see it. They're like, what the fuck? Um, and then a lot of anxiety. Yeah, anger and anxiety, I'd say.
Okay. So let's talk about the anger side first. So anger is an iceberg emotion. Do you know which specific emotion under anger that you specifically feel? Like, and you're more than welcome to like look it up online right now if you want to. Like,
Yeah, I remember you
yeah, I made a video
talking
about
about
it.
it often.
Yeah,
but the feminine sensory might need some visual aids. One
yeah,
second.
yeah. Go ahead. Feel free to look it
Iceberg
up.
emotions.
Yeah, anger, iceberg emotion, and then you'll see all the different like word underneath.
Yeah, yeah, right. This one.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know which one that you specifically feel from like that's the recurring type of anger?
Oh dear. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
Um, I think, and this is going to sound so so EP, but I'm like tricked. That one, that
Right?
one, I think. Yeah, I've not thought about that before. Like that might be why. Like now you're seeing the live processing here. But that one kind of, I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I'm angry.
What is it again? Tricks, you said?
Tricked, it said,
How
somewhere
do you spell
here.
it?
Trapped. No, tricked. Like somebody tricked me.
Oh, someone tricked you. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, missing
tricked.
information. Problems with
Yeah, exactly.
misinformation. I see.
Tricked, trapped,
Trap. Okay.
shame also.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what the FE
yeah.
get you with the shame.
Yeah, I know it's a sh it's it's an FE word. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I would say tricked, attacked. I don't know. It could be a lot of these. I can't really oh my God, I can't narrow it down. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you did already. The fact that you
Yeah,
mentioned like four of them, that's narrowing it down.
yeah.
So it's okay. You know. Okay, well that's cool. I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're all like kind of related to your type, right? Like being tricked, okay, missing information, trap, okay,
Mm,
EP don't want to be trapped, right? Shame,
yeah.
but it's annoying when the FE tries to invade in your FI. So it it like makes a lot of sense. What's the other one again? I forgot the fourth one.
I
Uh,
forgot also. What
yeah,
did I say?
there was another one that you said, but I don't remember now.
I
But
don't know.
it's
People
okay.
write in the comments, what did Elsa say? What
It's
did
okay.
she?
It's okay. But we had three, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, that's cool. And then anxiety is, I guess, coming from the NI at the bottom. Your future projecting a singular path that's going to happen, and you're so sure it's going to happen because that's a lot of
Mm.
times with a masculine NI we'll see. It's like they're so convinced this is going to happen. I've always said that the masculine NI is the craziest function of all. Like it is absolutely crazy. Um,
Yeah, very like locked in.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Mm.
it's crazy. It's like there was a guy I interviewed. He's a number two also. Except he's play first, play, consume, sleep last. And he had masculine and I, he's double feminine. And I said to him, I think the slogan for people who are ESFPs or ESTPs with masculine and I is don't fuck with the future because it's dangerous. And for me as as someone with NE, I see the future
Hmm.
as not threatening. You have it masculine, so it's threatening too, right? So
Yeah.
I have feminine and NE, so the future is not threatening at all. It's like it's friendly. The future is friendly, and there's multiple possibilities. There's multiple futures. So the SI that I do right now can change the future trajectory. So it's not as scary, but I know for the people with NI, it's very scary, especially masculine NI. The feminine NI is a little bit better with that, but the masculine
Hmm.
NI is definitely scary. So how do you personally feel about like the anxiety, like projecting to a certain thing will happen in the future and having that anxiety that is manifesting in your FI as a result?
Yeah. I've been trying to kind of process that a lot these last few days. Like, oh, what is it? I'm very much trying to figure out what's coming. How do I kind of protect myself from a potential outcome in the future. And I'm also very much like I'm trying to prepare. Like one of these things that I've kind of NI locked onto is, and I mentioned that in my typing video as well, that I'm very worried like about the economy, about inflation, and about like how our monetary system is like built. So I'm like, oh shit, I need to like how do I protect my, not that I have very big assets, mind you, but like the little that I have, how do I protect that and make sure that they're worth something in the future? Like what should I invest in? So I ended up like kind of going into to Bitcoin and like buying the Trezor and stuff and like kind of researching on that. So yeah, very worried about money. Not necessarily that I think Bitcoin is the future, but that I'm very certain that the monetary system that we have now with like it not being backed by a gold standard or anything really is I'm very nervous about that. And then I think one that so I'm very big on the like I'm a uh ever since I was like 12 I was very into reading feminist literature and reading about women's rights and stuff like that. So I think I'm like, oh my God, this is demon. The tribe is coming to control me, right? Very scared about this, like the like the patriarchy coming, like chaining me to the kitchen, being like, you're gonna stay here and you're
Yeah.
going to do this thing. Yeah, like
Is, isn't
I
Sweden the
think
most
that's
like
my.
liberal, like
It
female?
is. Oh no, it's great here, but I still freak out. I was like, maybe it changes, maybe it goes backwards. Like I'm super, super like I'm like it's not gonna happen here. I'm like it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But I'm also like maybe it goes back, maybe it happens. Like I'm very nervous about that, being like scared for it, which is silly because I know that it is very equal here. Like it's cool, you're safe, girl. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then my I will read the news and my head goes into a spin like, oh my God, but it was good in Afghanistan too. And then the Taliban came and then or not is Afghanistan, what country am I thinking of? Um
I think it did happen in Afghanistan.
Iran. Yeah, yeah, Afghanistan too, but I think into an even greater extent, I'm thinking of Iran, where the women were very like, they were wearing whatever they wanted, and then
Yeah.
just this religious um like
Religious
sorry,
belief.
I'm not finding. Yeah, the religious police kind of comes and tells them what to do, what to wear, what to like, where to go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we have a lot of like refugees from Iran, so and I caught on to that, I think, and was like, oh my God, maybe what if that happens? Which is like, it's not realistic. I know that. I'd be like
Yeah.
but I think my yeah, I think that's something that I'm like animalistically scared of
Yeah.
that I locked onto. Yeah, I just want to clarify that yes, no, that's not ST like realistic. That something's gonna happen like that in Sweden. I do see that. Like I'm not, but that's the fear of mine, like being
Well,
caught like that.
the NI fear is still there, even if you know
Yeah,
it's
it is. It
happening.
is.
Like
It is.
even
Even if
yeah,
I know it's
yeah,
like the Bitcoin one is more realistic, I think, with
exactly.
the
Right.
Elsa's not gonna be allowed to work fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I feel like even in Sweden, if let's say it even if it went back a little bit, like it's like less
Hmm.
feminist, it's still like a really feminist place compared to most places in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit too much on the feminist side, actually. Maybe, maybe
Hmm.
the masculinity side is actually lacking. Maybe it should be more, because like if you look at the like I've been to Iran, so I know like I went to Iran like last year, right? And I actually got trapped there as an EP fear.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah, I heard you talked about this. I was like, oh
yeah,
my God, that's insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
they took my because I went in with my Philippine passport because I'm a dual citizen.
Yeah.
Um, and then um, and then on my way out, my flight got canceled, and I didn't know because I didn't get any notification because I'm in Iran. I'm not getting any like the internet access is really bad, so I had to. The only way out was to use my Canadian passport, but Canada and Iran are not in good terms, and that's not the passport I entered with, right? So they took it from me when they said because I had to buy a flight to go to Dubai to get out of Iran. That was the only flight out, right? And then, um, And the only way I can go there is with my Canadian passport, because with Canadian passport, I don't need a visa to enter there, right? Because
Hmm.
so they're like, oh, how are you gonna enter there? You can't with the Philippine passport. I'm like, oh, I'm a dual citizen. I'm like, really? Okay. Can I see it? And then they took it away. And I'm like, it was like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, yeah,
I was sitting
no,
there
I
for
would
30
have.
minutes. It was like the longest 30 minutes of my life. I'm like sitting
I
there.
am yeah, no, I shit. I would have thought I was gonna die. Like
Yeah.
and I think that's it. Like and I kind of immediately running to the worst case scenario
Yeah.
immediately. Um, and being like, you have to make sure this doesn't happen. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
in a
like
kind of childish way, and that's what I'm saying with the feminism thing, because it's totally completely unrealistic. And yet there's this um fear of it still. And yeah, no, it's weird.
it's really bad in Iran though, because they have
Mm.
cameras everywhere when I went there.
Oh
And
yeah.
I asked my tour guide about it, and she said that, oh, yeah, it's to make sure that people are wearing their hijab. And then like restaurants, if you go there, they punish restaurants if women enter without a hijab on. So women would have to
Yeah.
wear it. Not because they want to rebel, but they don't want to get the owner of the restaurant in trouble also, right? So they just adhere to it. So
Yeah.
they're really tricky there. They're like, oh, okay, you don't want to wear your
Yeah, we're
hijab,
gonna punish them
we'll
too.
punish
Yeah.
someone else then.
Mm. Yeah.
And
Oh
it's like
yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's awful, awful.
And then
Yeah.
obviously, as a human, you're like, oh, I don't want to see someone suffer. Let's,
Right, right.
so it's like,
Yeah, no, it's stuff like that. Like it hits like close to home. So my partner actually told me like, you're not allowed to read news about Iran or Afghanistan anymore. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking fair enough. Like, what am I gonna do? And it just makes me feel really bad for the women there. Like yeah.
they
The,
are rebelling though. I was there, and then like my tour guide was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, that's a lesbian couple. Like they're openly rebelling. And then so
really? Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah, there's open rebellion for sure when I went there. Like women are not wearing their hijab. They try to dress like how a Westerner would dress. They'll have like
Yeah.
long hair, not covered at all. And and yeah, they're openly rebelling. I don't know how far it's gonna go, but I did see it happen, and I was like, and actually the most of the males are for women to have their freedom when I went there. So it's not
Right.
like
Yes.
it's not like the people there are trying to control women.
No.
It's the religion, the religious police.
Yeah.
A lot of the people there are actually not even Muslims. They're just pretending. Um, you know,
Yeah, that's what I know. Like lately when like it was like up on the news in the search with the women rebelling, I thought it was really cool to see, like, because like you say, it's not only the women that are protesting for their rights, but the
Mhm.
men too. They're like,
Right,
no, we're not gonna stand for this. Like, we don't want them treated that way, or we don't want to be like oppressed by this religious system either. Like, it's not good for them either, even though they might not be forced to wear like clothing they don't want. But
right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, I feel it's very my it's important for my NI and my FI. Like it's a cause that I care about, like in an NI and an FI way. So it gets intense real quick.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the funny things I did say to the people there when I was in Iran is like, so if you're a Muslim guy, you can have five wives. Can a
Uh-huh.
girl have five husbands then? And they're like, no, they
Yeah,
can't. I'm like, that's not fair. I think it should be
yeah,
fair. Like
yeah.
if you're a girl and you want to have five husbands, it should be cool. Like like it should,
You're just sowing chaos. They're like, what?
they're like, what? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, fair is fair, right? I mean, it's modern world and
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. Then,
yeah.
to each their own, right? Like
What did they say to that? Now I'm curious.
they're just shocked I'm saying it.
Yeah, right. They're just like, I do not compute.
But I'm like, but it's equality, it's fair. I don't like what's
Yeah,
wrong.
right.
Like, yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't think it's anything wrong with a guy who wants five wives. So if a woman wants five
No, me
husbands,
neither.
if a woman wants
Yeah.
five husbands, fine, it's fine. But
Yeah, man, you do
each,
you.
each,
I'm not
each
gonna tell you what
husband
to
will
do.
have a different, like, will have a different purpose or something.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
whatever. Because like I feel like, yeah, I had a coworker at work. I remember when I was going to work, I had a coworker. I think she was an ESTP.
Hmm.
Um, and then like she's always telling me she wants to cheat on her whoever she's dating. She always tells me that.
Oh my God. She's just telling you that?
Yeah, yeah. She always,
Okay.
yeah, it's like I think about cheating on him every day. That's what she tells me, right? And then and then
Oh
like
shit. Yeah.
and, you know, she's like an EP. Obviously, she wants like multiple
Yeah.
partners. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I was like, I think you just need like different boyfriends. Like I think you
Hmm.
should, like you should have one for just for hooking up, one and then one for money, your sugar daddy, and then
Hmm.
and one that you like love and like have
Yeah.
like for romance. She's like, hey, yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what I want. And I'm like, yeah, you should go. I'm like, yeah, you should go for it. She's like, I don't think I'm allowed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, I think you can, but like,
Yeah, maybe talk to your partner first, I guess, and make sure everybody's like so
yeah,
nobody's hurt. But like, yeah, I'm like I agree with you. Like people should be able to. It's time that people are very like, oh, this is so EP. Like I can't take myself seriously anymore. Like I have a thought and then I'm like, that's such an EP thing to say also. But that they are so limited like by social norms
yeah,
that they have to adhere to something just because we said so? Like, why? Okay, if you want to have five boyfriends, go for it. Just be honest about it and
exactly,
upfront with what
right,
you want. Like,
exactly.
um, so yeah, I definitely think she should have five boyfriends if that's what she wants, as long as they're in on it too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
go
I mean,
for it.
like you're not
Yeah,
happy with just one. What are you doing? Just go get
right. Yeah, right.
go have three. Then
That
you want
makes no
three?
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There you go.
have
You
100. Oh my God, that sounds
Yeah, yeah. I
exhausting
mean,
now.
yeah. I mean,
Shit.
that's just your double activate consume talking now. But anyways,
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah. That's
getting
true.
greedy. You're getting greedy. Hold on. Um,
More.
but I don't know if like people are watching this are like, oh my god, this is an EP conversation. You guys channel changed like 5 times already, and like, and, like,
I don't see that's the thing too. And I think that's why I thought I was an IJ too. Because I'm like, what? I'm not challenging. It's all connected. All of the things that we're saying now,
yeah,
it's connected to the conversation. I
yeah,
feel like we're just on this kind of this story arc. And it's not challenge change to me. It's I don't know.
well, it kind of went pure channel change because we were talking about your NIFI emotional pattern that you feel with, and then we start talking about Iran all of a sudden, and
Oh
then
yeah,
having
that's
multiple
true.
like partners, and like what the hell, like how did we get there? So it is like a aggressive channel change if you think
It
about it.
is, it is, it is. Yeah, no, fair point. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually kind of strange.
It's very aggressive channel change. But anyways, let's go back to the topic at hand. But it's good because the people can see what like EPs are like, right? Um,
Yeah, no, I don't think about it. So sorry.
anyways, so part of NF sleep is also having like a code or mantra that you adhere to. And like I don't know if you've seen my interviews where I've kind of shared some with people, like discipline equals freedom, or David Goggins, having a callous mind,
Mm,
So or my girlfriend is, I think it's like discomfort over resentment. That's her like NF
mm,
sleep mantra. Like that's what she like before she makes a decision, she always thinks, okay, yeah, am I going to be resentful? So if
mm,
not, if I will, I'd rather be uncomfortable,
yeah.
So what do you have something that you have as a code or mantra that you adhere to that kind of guides you when you're making decisions in life?
Yeah, I watched a lot of your videos just to
Yeah,
kind of get to know different types. So I knew
sure.
this question was kind of coming. I was like, do I have anything like any of that? I was like, I don't know. And then I thought about it. And I do. And it's not really it's not mine. I think I read it somewhere, but I did grab onto that and keep it.
Sure.
And I tell people about it. And it's the 3-day rule. Like if I'm upset by someone, I'm like, I'm I just wanna do something about it, but I'm realizing, hey, your emotions are really, really intense right now. Maybe you're gonna do something that you regret. So what I will do is kind of like I'll write it down. Maybe I'm angry at someone. Oh, you did this and this, fuck you. Um, and I'll write it down. Just no limitations at all. Like just anything, what's at the top of my mind or whatever. Um, and then I let it rest for at least 3 days. And then I go back to it. And I'm like, is this reasonable? You've calmed down now, masculine FI. Is this fucking reasonable?
Yeah.
And then I read through it and I'm like, no. I'm not gonna stand that. It's gonna make everything worse, and you're kind of in the wrong. Like, calm down.
So
Or
what?
maybe I'm like, yeah, no, I still feel that. And then I'm like, okay, I will act on it. So I kind of let it just pausing, letting it rest. Yeah.
But how do you act on it because you're blast last?
Oh, that's a fair point. Um, Maybe like if it's something that I want to bring up, like with someone, I might send a message or like, hey, can we talk? Um, but yeah, that's a fair point. Maybe I just postpone it because it's lost. I haven't considered that. Maybe I'm just kind of giving given my lost excuses. I don't know.
It's interesting to hear you do that because your savior feeling, savior
Mm-hmm.
FI. Because I have demon FI,
Mm-hmm.
so like the way I would approach it is very different from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I know I'm like, oh shoot, I have like demon feeling. I know I'm not gonna express my
Mm-hmm.
feeling if I don't express it now. So I better blow up now. And
Mm-hmm.
if I know I'm wrong, I'll just apologize later. Because at least I got
Yeah.
that emotion out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll give you an example. I was in Philippines a month ago and I pissed off like all my relatives. So there was like at least like 10 to 20 people pissed off at me.
Oh
Um,
wow. Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I got sick because I'm sleep lost and I was traveling too fast,
Mm.
like an idiot. And I think I got COVID, but then they wanted to take me to the mountain province of the Philippines, and I wanted to take my girlfriend
Mm.
too, right? Because she's never seen it, and I thought it was gonna be nice. But turns out we went there, it was raining, there was no view, and I was just coughing nonstop because I had COVID, and they should have never brought me there, but I also felt bad. They already paid for the trip, so I didn't want them to cancel it. So I didn't say anything. But
Mm.
finally, when we were in like the peak of the mountain, like we were staying at this like pretty rustic lodge. And I finally said, I don't even want to be here. And they were so upset at me because they're like, we spent the money, we spent the effort to take you here. We all came with
Mm.
you, and you said that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like we know you're sick, but that's kind of like asshole-ish to say that, right? So,
Yeah.
which is true. They're definitely on point, and it's my fault. I should have communicated ahead. I'm like, hey, guys, I don't feel good. I feel really sick. We should not go, right? So,
Yeah.
but I did apologize later on. I went to all my relatives and I apologized. I'm like, hey, sorry guys, I was a dick. I was an asshole.
Yeah. Good job.
And they all forgave me, of course, because
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, we just wanted to hear you apologize, and
Yeah.
you did, so it's fine. It's like water under the bridge.
I
Yeah,
totally get it too. Like even though I'm Savior FI, sometimes you're like, oh shit. Like I do the double deciding,
yeah,
and sometimes you go with a tribe point of view when you really shouldn't. Like the FI in there is like, no, I'm not gonna accept this.
yeah.
You're gonna pay for it later. And I suppose that happens to you a lot more than it happens to me, which is kind of
What do you mean?
erupts.
Oh, you mean like going with the tribe more? You mean? Is that what you?
Yeah, if you go with a tribe at the point where like your FI is not gonna forgive you for that, do you get what I mean? It's not gonna let that go. And so
Hmm.
you're gonna pay for it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, I think it was also like the wrong location. Like we went to a cold.
Hmm.
If we went
Yeah.
somewhere, I think it would have been okay. I think, so it was because obviously I didn't expect it to be freezing cold there, raining. In Philippines, Philippines is a tropical country. Why is it freezing? So it's one of those things where it's like, what the heck? What's going on here? Why is it so cold? You know? Um, it's climate change, right? Climate change is real. Like I was in
Mm.
Vietnam like a month ago, and I was like, why is it cold here? People are wearing jackets. I've been to this exact same place 5 years ago. It was hot. I was wearing shorts and t-shirt. Now it's cold. I have to wear a jacket. And like, so climate change is definitely real. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, so it's just interesting for me to see like, oh, for you, you would process the feeling first before you engage a tribe, but because I'm play first, I engage a tribe first, and then later on I
Yeah.
process. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong. But actually, when I did apologize to them, they said, you know what? Maybe we should have asked you first if you were okay to go because you were
Mm.
coughing a lot, So it was like
Mm.
a double.
Mm.
Like most of my relatives are double deciders, so it was kind of easy to talk.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely more. It would be harder for sure if they were deciders. That would be like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's on both, right? You can't like say, oh, you should have said something. Why didn't you say something? Yeah, well, I was kind of like almost dying. Like maybe you should have asked too. Like, yeah, you're right, but like
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's
Yeah.
on both. Yeah.
And as an observer, you know what we do, right? We just blame like the thing. So we're like, yeah, the climate change, it's their climate change fault. Like,
It was the weather.
yeah, it's the climate change fault. And then we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck the weather, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now we're good. It's
Well, it's good. We
you're not the
can we
bad guy, I'm
can
not the
rage.
bad guy. The
The
climate change is the
thing
bad
is,
guy. So
yes, yes. But I think that's really nice though, because yeah, then you're a united front against this stupid, silly thing. So you don't have tribalism against each other. It's like just no, let's all unite and then fight the thing. I don't know. I like it that way.
I do want to ask you something about your FI. I'm very curious. So I noticed with the people with FE, this is very important to them, but with FI people, it's a little bit less important. I know social type also plays a part into this though, like social type 4.
Mhm.
So how do you feel having FI about blood relationships, right? Like family members. Do you feel obligated that you have to maintain a relationship with them because they are your blood relative? Or having FI, you don't care as much. You only care about the people that you care about, regardless of whether they're relatives or not. So some of them would be blood relatives, some of them would be
Mhm.
friends and family, but they have to be in your FI. Or is it like, oh, if they're blood, they're blood. I have to honor that relationship. Like you feel obligated to honor the relationship.
Well, um I'd um I'd say I do feel obligated to like well like being like well they're my sisters like obviously I'm gonna like they are my blood like I feel them but like it's also not like let's assume like I find that this relative we're not getting along, it's not bringing me or that person anything. I might just be like yeah I might see that person but it's not something that I'll go out of my way to like maintain something deeply.
Yeah.
Um, so I think in a sense, yeah, kind of like I feel connected to my family members, but I will also like I would also cut people off if I feel like no, this isn't working, like you cross the line or being like or maybe just like not being super close to everyone. So a bit of column A, a bit of column B, I'd say.
Is that are you the older sister or are you okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I get the vibe you're the oldest actually. That's why.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, you give that vibe, the like the responsible older sister vibe.
Yeah, people say that.
Yeah, yeah, it's so interesting. Like I think Dave has talked about birth order before, how it like
Yeah.
does like things, and I don't know if being the oldest makes you a two or a one more
I
likely.
wonder too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
actually
would make
curious about that
sense.
now. Yeah,
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 we
because I'm
have
the
to ask
oldest,
him.
right? And like I'm a two, so you know,
Yeah.
um, well, I'm the oldest for my full family. I have a older half brother, and I think
Oh yeah.
he might also be a two or a one. He might be a one actually. I'm not really sure, one or two. But so anyways, let's go back to your third animal now. Play.
Mhm.
Double feminine, ST play. It's in your hobby position. But you do have save your friends. So let how do you experience that double activated not double activated, but double feminine ST play of yours?
Yeah, I've actually been using your videos a lot to kind of process what is that? Like how do you like I was kind of trying to find a good definition of exactly what that is. I guess play is back and forth with the tribe. I
Right.
just and ST is like in a thinking SE way. I suppose I do very much enjoy like having discussions with people. And even if my TE is a demon, I very much like arguing in a friendly way, like kind of discussing back and forth. I think this, what do you think? Like that gives me I enjoy that like a lot, like kind of coming to a conclusion together or being like, oh, did you see this thing happen? Like commenting on events and stuff like that. Um, so I do see that. Um, I'll be like hanging out with people in other ways too, obviously, like just making jokes or being silly. But I think maybe my inclination to be like drawn to arguing with people, again, in a friendly way, like more discussion, but like we could disagree, and it's like, oh, I think it's fun that we're disagreeing. Why do you think that? I think this way. Why do you think that way? Um, so I think that might be kind of how my ST play comes out, that I find that enjoyable. Yeah.
Part of SD play also is doing physical type of work with people. So like let's say moving things, like let's say you're moving or doing construction or doing arts and crafts together or like something physical together, or playing sports, like how do you like doing that stuff with people? It's like, hey, let's collaborate on, doing this, let's build this thing, Um, or it doesn't have
No,
to build, but it can,
that honestly, no.
no?
And this is really funny because I'll do it, like collaborate with people, and it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. But this is, I really thought like for a really long time that I had TI in my stack,
Yeah.
because I was really like, I really relate. Again, I relate, and that I feel a certain way doesn't mean that I have that function. But that story of being like, no, I'd rather work on my own.
Yeah.
And then kind of, yeah, kind of preferring to figure it out on my own, at least with projects, like discussing something and ideas. That's for me, like, is another thing. But like if I'm gonna build something, um, I'd rather do it on my own. And then obviously moving is difficult to do on your own, so you kind of have to. But it's, yeah, that one is a bit confusing to me. I'm like, if I have SD play, why do I feel the need to kind of go off on my own and do the thing myself? Yeah.
Because you're an introvert. But anyways,
I
uh,
mean, that's a fucking fair point, actually. Yeah.
but, but
That's a very fair point. Yeah.
no, but I get what you mean. As a social two, I actually do a lot of work by myself also, so I get it.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a lot of being a two is very much. It feels almost like a TIFE axis because you'll do the work, right? And
Hmm.
then you'll do like the Jubilee, the FE Jubilee with a tribe. You're like, hey, let's get
Yeah.
together. So it's a really weird thing, and we'll talk about that more into detail when we get to social type too. But I haven't
Yeah.
seen that, so I totally get what you're saying, and we'll definitely go on a deep dive after we finish
Hmm.
the last animal, anti blast. So it's organizing solutions that you will present to the tribe. So um, it's also getting started and also um executing, right? So can you share like all those parts? We can start with the organizing the solution and then presenting to the tribe.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny because ever since I realized this was my last animal, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, let's get to work. How do I fix this? And so I'm in this group chat with a lot of people, and there are a lot of blast losters. And so we kind of agreed that we blast to each other, like practice just presenting information in a concise way. So I'm doing this with this one girl. Um, and I was blasting my medical knowledge, kind of first gathering information. And I set a timer, like, you're not allowed to consume for like however long, and then you got to try to blast to kind of, because I was like, I'm getting caught in the consume. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna prepare for the blast, and then I just found myself, oh, I need more, getting caught in that. So it's like, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Like, stop the consume, do the blast, go talk to Lene and tell her about it. So I do that to kind of try to improve it. I do see that when I've actually got things narrowed down to my NI, it's very solid. I don't forget it. So um, let's say like, so I'm studying medicine, for instance, and I find that when I've actually really truly understood a concept, and a patient, for instance, asks, hey, how does this work? Could you help explain this to me? I'm like, sure thing. And I'll be able to do it. But it just really takes a long time for me to get there. So I would say it's pretty solid, but it takes a while. Like it's a pain to get to it.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a lot of Blast Last people get really good at it. Like Alex Formosi, the number two Blast Last ESTP, is like one of the best blasters there is.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his name again? You can link me later, maybe. That's
Yeah,
really
it's,
interesting.
his name is Alex Formosi. He's they did a class on him actually. He's a ESTP social type number two. He's really popular
Oh,
right now in the business space because kind of changing how it's he's changing how business and marketing is working. He's trying to crack the code on how a regular person can become a billionaire, not just a millionaire,
that's really.
a billionaire. Because he said what it takes to be a millionaire is different than what it takes to be a billionaire. So he's trying to crack the code on like
Oh,
and he's a number two. His wife is a super blaster, like INTJ, like double
yeah,
activated NT blast. But he's blasting a lot, even though he's blast last. And I think it's like amazing that this blast last guy is blasting back more than the regular um blaster, And that's
yeah,
why he's doing so good because he's using his fourth animal, right? Like the last animal. The last animal, when you use the more you use it, the stronger you become. Is so ridiculous. It is like the
yeah,
biggest upgrade you can ever make for yourself is your last animal. Um,
yeah,
if you have to
definitely.
outsource, if you have to outsource it too, then do it. It does. You don't need to do it yourself. Actually, you can outsource it. I think I remember David Chan did that video on the sleep last um ESTP girl, and she outsourced her sleep last. She like has like goes to like classes for like meditation and stuff, and it's like okay, you can outsource your last animal as long as you're doing it. Doesn't matter how, as long as it's being done, right? You know. So if it means for
So,
you, someone's forcing you to blast, I think for him it's because his wife is double activated blast and is forcing him to do it. And it's also a number one. I think
yeah.
having like the number one part like because his partner is a number one. So obviously double blaster, number one wife, you're gonna be on your ass all day
Oh, fuck.
to like
Yeah.
to succeed, to win, to achieve, like hounding your ass all day. And then you as a number two, Dave said that we are externally motivated. So,
Mm.
imagine you're the person beside you all day is a number one, hounding you all day, win, achieve, succeed. And it's like, of course, you're like, oh, as like a number two,
Okay.
you're like, oh, okay, sure. Like,
I guess
you
I'll
know,
do that then.
yeah,
Yeah, that would work on me. Yeah.
yeah, because like it's true because when I'm around number one, I'm like, you're right. That makes sense. And then when I
Yeah.
go to like a number four, and they were like, "Oh, it's all about family and friends." I'm like, "You're right. That is true." It's like,
Yes.
you know,
It's so dependent on who
yeah.
you're
Or,
around.
or like at number three, it's like
Yeah.
you should focus on your work and really hone it. It's like, yes,
Uh,
that's true. That's right.
That's also correct.
Because that they're all right, right? So it's like,
Yeah, no, it's a pain in the ass. I totally get what you're saying.
so like I think like number twos and fours are like easily influenced, right? So it's
So
um,
much. So much.
so
What the
um
fuck were we talking about? I was yeah.
oh no, we're talking about
I
your you did explain it. You talked about your patient and how
Okay, good, good, good.
you work in the medical field, then you're like a doctor or a nurse or something, or
I'm in my fourth year of medical school,
oh
so
cool.
I'm soon finished to become a doctor. Yeah.
Like, are you gonna work in a hospital or are you gonna be like a family doctor?
I don't know yet, so I haven't. I don't know yet. We'll see. No, I think hospital. Possibly I find surgery very interesting. So, but yeah, there's after you've done the kind of foundational education, you have 18 months of kind of you are a doctor, but you're kind of practicing at the same time. It's not, I don't know the specific English word for
Like
it, but it's kind of like,
residency? Is that what it's called? Something like that?
I maybe, I'm like, that's not accurate enough, but sure, we'll go with residency. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Um,
Just throwing it out.
yeah. But, and then it's for 18 months. And what you're doing then is kind of that, you're being switched around to different like locations in the hospital. So you kind of try everything
Right.
to give you a good foundational view of what the different specialities are and to make you at least have seen and practiced everything. So you're a doctor first and you know the foundational things, and then you specialize into one thing or family medicine or cardiology or like
Yeah.
surgery or whatever. Yeah.
I I had a surgery 2 years ago on my nose. I had septoplasty. Like the inside of my nose apparently was twisted sideways, so I can only
Mm-hmm.
breathe from one nose. So they had to straighten it so I can breathe from both sides.
Whoa.
Um,
Yeah.
so they it was the first time I've ever had like a surgery where they gas you and then but you're like not asleep, you're like partially asleep. So
Oh.
so I'm not feeling the pain, but I can hear everything that's happening and I can feel the pressure that's being like when they're working on my nose. Um,
No, wait. Where did you do the surgery?
in Canada, in the hospital.
Oh, I don't think we do anesthesia like that in Sweden. That's really interesting. We very rarely use gas. Like we use intravenous medications to make the patient fall asleep and lose consciousness. But you
Oh,
were conscious?
yeah, I was awake. I can hear the doctor or the surgeon chatting with the nurses while they were operating on me. He was complaining how he was like I think he was a number three, but like complains a lot.
Yeah.
But like
You're just
uh,
laying there
yeah,
analyzing.
yeah,
Why are you so crazy?
he's talking about
Yeah.
investments. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's like, God damn, I should have invested on Nvidia. Now I can't because it's already way too high. You know, he's like complaining about it while he's like working on my nose, right? And then the nurse like, yeah, we messed up, we fucked up, we didn't invest in Nvidia, you know.
You're like, what the fuck?
And then like
What about my nose?
after the surgery was finished and they took up the gas and I'm like awake.
Yeah.
And now and then they're like, how are you? I was like, oh, I was awake the whole time. I was like, oh, were you? Like I was like, I was kind of delirious too, because like I was gassed, right? So,
Yeah.
so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thanks. I was like so delirious. I was like, oh, thanks guys for taking care of me. You know, I was like, oh, like
Mm.
FI only, you know, like
It's so cute when people are like, it's, yeah, like seeing people react after anesthesia. Most people are really kind. They're like,
yeah,
you're the kindest person ever. I'm like, this is my job, but thank you.
yeah. And of course, because I'm a social too, I was working for a company at the time as a recruiter for a travel nurse company. So I was
Yeah.
like, they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I work for a travel nurse company. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. So if you go to this place in Canada, you can get paid this much. They're like, really? So I'm like doing my number two scam already while I'm like in the hospital, like all covered up because I'm like, I just finished the surgery, right? And I'm like, like I have like the IV and everything. I'm laying there and I'm still doing
Yeah.
my number two scam, like,
Amazing.
yeah,
Good job. Good riddance. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, the IJs are gonna kill us. We're channel changing like crazy. What was it? I think.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. So number two, we were talking about your solution that you have organized percent of the tribe, which you've already explained.
Mm.
Can you talk? And you said that it takes you a long time to get there. So can you talk about the last part? Is like the getting started part, like and the execution part. Like how is it having blast last, like with the execution and getting started? Do you find that there's a lot of great deal of difficulty for you when you have to get started with something? And how long does it take for you to get from like thought that I want to do this to like actually doing it?
It can take forever. Like it's funny, my partner, he actually bought me a t-shirt. People being like, "Oh, procrastinators unite," and then there's another picture tomorrow, and it just kind of encapsulates me very well because I'll be like, I want to go so bad, I want to go so bad, and
Yeah.
I can't. Why can't I just go? Like, just go. Like, for fuck's sake, just start. Um, I see it. I'm so frustrated with myself. Like, and then the work just piles up, and I'm like, now I have so much to do that I'm paralyzed because I'm so fucking overwhelmed. Because how am I supposed to manage this at like this short a time? And then what usually happens is I kind of go into this, okay, let's just get to business. I'll do it. Boom. And I manage it somehow. Like I've at least managed like 4 years of medical school. So I get through. But what then happens, I think, is I've spent myself completely and I go into like kind of deep sleep
Yeah.
and I just need to rest. And then the cycle just continues. So it's really, once it's on, it's difficult to, I feel like I'm a computer that's really, really like this shit computer that's really, really slow to start. You're like, oh, it's taking forever. And then you gotta turn it off and it's like, oh wait, I have like 100 updates that I need to do. And it just won't shut off either. So like really slow to start, really slow to shut down too.
That's what happens. So you're a PC then.
I'm a PC, yeah.
Yeah, because with a Mac, it's like open, there's no startup. It's done.
No, it's a PC and
Yeah,
it's slow.
yeah.
You should probably
I always
clean the fans
I'm
because
always shocked when I see that when I switch to a PC. I'm like, what is this stuff? Like I have to wait, like because I
what are
use
you
a Mac,
talking
right?
about?
But
Yeah.
also the other thing that you said I thought was really funny when your partner gave you a t-shirt about procrastination.
Mhm.
Because I actually bought my girlfriend who's also Blast Last. I bought her a t-shirt that's Nike, their slogan is just do it. And then so
Mhm.
for me, I got her a t-shirt with a picture of a sloth and it says just do it later. Just do it later.
That's really funny.
And then she
Yeah.
started wearing it to work, right? And if people were like, "Oh, I love
Yeah.
the t-shirt, just do it later," you know. Anyways, it's kind of funny though that you still well not funny, but it's cool that you get it done still. And I feel like your superpower is actually your sleep. Like you just figure out a way to manage your energy enough that you can get through what needs to be done, so that
Mhm.
you can still finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah.
Um,
I'm happy for that.
I want to ask you now about the big topic here because we keep going back here, so we might as well just talk about it.
Yeah.
Social type two. Okay.
Yeah.
Social type. I think the social type is like the most fun topic actually. Um,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. So you're number two. So number twos are seen as either entrepreneurial or managerial, right? Um, so it's interesting that for you, you work on your own and then as opposed to a team, right? But I feel like as a number two, when you do manage a team, it will feel more natural because I also do what you do. I tend to work alone.
Mm.
Either when I was working as a recruiter, I would work alone in my office and like either call customers or figure out ways to recruit, right? Or when I work in my YouTube channel, then it's just me uh, thinking about the story, and then how I'm gonna edit it, and I'm gonna film it, blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? Or um, yeah. But then I remember one time I worked as a supervisor for the Canadian election. It was like the easiest job. I was like, I had to supervise like 15 people, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in the zone. This is so easy. Like, and,
Yeah.
and the deciders were looking at me like I have a superpower, but I'm like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm just a double decider, so I'm not scared of people, and I'm also
Yeah.
like a number two. So um, so I feel so. I want to ask you, like, have you ever been in that experience where like, oh, you're the supervisor, you're the manager, you have staff, and then suddenly it's like, oh, this feels right, or like you haven't been there yet, like you haven't no opportunity yet, so you don't know, like it hasn't clicked yet.
I did. I think where I see it the most was when I moved in with my partner Jens, and since he has kids, like it's a household and things needs to be managed. And I think like poor kids, honestly, because I think he might be an EP blast lost too, or IP. So I think we both have blast lost issues, which is yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot of chaos upon chaos. But the one who ends up kind of managing it, and I think this is because of the type two, is me. I'm like, okay, guys, this is not working. I'm going to make us a schedule. You do the dishes that day, I do it that day. I'm kind of organizing it. And that's also like, it's kind of why I thought it was an IJ, because I was like, oh, but I'm the one organizing the home.
Yeah,
Like, I'm the one telling people what to do. I'm controlling them. But I think that's coming from the social type two. It makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
Um, for different reasons, partly because of the blast loss issues, like I can't get started. But then I see things around me in the home that needs to be managed, and I'll do that. I'll do that just fine. Like fix it up.
Oh, because you're externally motivated. So
Mm,
you see all this external chaos and you want to do something about it.
yes.
But
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it.
something that you want to do yourself is like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot more difficult. Like when it's just for me. So getting up and I know somebody is expecting something of me, like, oh, I need to make breakfast for the kid or
yeah,
whatever. Like that's not difficult for me. I'll do it, I'll get up. I need to get up for myself to go to my lecture. That's not really mandatory anyway. That's just doing it for me. That's a lot more difficult. Yeah.
it's so annoying as a social type two having that external motivation. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it sucks. It
Yeah,
sucks. But I think I kind of I kind of treat myself to be like holding myself accountable to others is really the way to go
right.
to make my blast and just to make it go. Yeah.
I think it's important to build the muscle that you can motivate yourself. But I think ultimately that should be something that is a supplement as opposed to the main thing, because it's not going to be
Mm.
the most natural thing. Like for example, like I I have this YouTube channel, right? Like personality trainer. I interview people and whatnot and discuss uh personality types. But I have another YouTube channel that I started like just last year. I got monetized already actually. Like I think once you become a YouTube,
Hey, congratulations.
yeah, I was shocked.
When
It was like, when did I start? July, like less than 6 months. It got monetized already.
uh,
I started a gaming channel. It's a mobile gaming one. And then
yeah.
at first I only did it just for fun, like like in the game, they're like, if you make a content about this game, we'll give you free items. I'm like, okay, well, I
Mm.
want the free items, so I'll make some content. I'll make some shit
Mm.
content. At first I was just making shit content, right? Um, and I wasn't getting any traction or anything. And then like one time, I don't know why, I was like, I just got frustrated. I'm like, because being externally motivated, right? I'm like, all the content creator in this channel are so for this game, I mean, was like so bad. Like they're like they don't know how to edit their videos properly and whatnot. I'm gonna do a high quality video, kind of like how I
Hmm.
edit those explainer videos I do for like personal, like like animals
Oh,
and
those are really good. I love those.
yeah,
Yeah, they're great.
thank you. I hate making them though because like they take so long, but
Yeah, but
I
they're
do
good. They're really good.
thank you, I appreciate that. Info dom helps, but like uh but like yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do like a quality video that I would normally do in my personality channel into this gaming one. So I did it, got so much subscribers right away, and I was like, huh? And then like before long I got monetized, and then like, but I was like, I don't want to make any more videos like this. I just don't want to make videos like this. Like I didn't even want to start another channel. Like now I got monetized, and like I'm like, oh my God, it's like it's making money. I was like, what the heck? And then like and then I was like, oh, I'm like, it's starting to make, it's gonna make, at this rate, it's gonna make more money than the personality trainer one, like this one, this channel, you know?
Really?
Yeah, because it's growing so fast, right? And I'm like, what, like, should I even bother with the personality one then? I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's like it has 1,000 subscribers. It's already getting more subscribers per day. It's like the ad revenue is also getting almost higher now. And
Yeah.
and then but I'm like, I'm not motivated to make a video. But I was playing a game on my phone, and then like someone in the game messaged me. He's like, "Hey, can you make a video about this?" And I was like motivated right away, and I made it like within like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
totally get what you said. It's like, oh, you have to make breakfast for your one of the kids in the house. Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you're motivated. So it's like,
Yeah.
why is number two's being like this? Why is it like that as the number two? It's so annoying. Why do you need
Yeah. And
people?
I need people to need people. And this kind of ties back to what I said earlier because I'm like, I my partner said, I hate responsibility. And I was
Oh,
like,
really?
what? What do you mean? I was like super confused by that because I love responsibility because I know that's what gets me going.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm stuck with my last like piece of shit that can't get going at all. Like it
yeah.
sucks. I know where that leads, like, right? So I'm like, oh, responsibility, great thing, good. Now I can go. And he was like, no, I just want people to leave me the fuck alone. Like I'm like, to me, that was difficult for me to even process that there are people who don't want to like people to I
Well,
like it. It was
is your partner number three? Like, does he have demon friends and responsibility at the very bottom or something?
possibly I that could
Does he
be it.
flex?
Yeah.
Does he flex also?
Yeah, kind of like he'll go on this weird I think he's I'm DI, but like I'll be like, that's too much DI, bro. Like calm down. Like I'll call him out on it. Like you gotta think about the tribe. Like no, that's enough.
Right.
So maybe like because that could be strengthened by social type 3. I don't know. I can't really he's not into ops like at all. He's like, yeah, yeah, do your thing and I'll mention something, but he's not into it. So I'm not gonna push it on him. But yeah, possibly type 3. He doesn't like the managing people. He just wants to do his programming. And he doesn't really want to be the best either. Like he's not like, oh, I'm gonna be the guy at the top. No. Yeah, yeah, I think number three might be it. Yeah.
It's funny you said that. I had a coaching client like a while ago. I think he's a number three, and then I was listening to him like ranting because number threes complain a lot, right? So he was complaining to me for like an hour, and then
Yeah.
I mean it makes sense why they complain. They see the future as negative and the past as negative, right? That's their outlook. So
Mm,
of course you would be complaining if you see a thing as negative. It's
Hmm.
it's just the default wiring. It's like nothing you can do about it, right? You
Yeah.
know. So anyways, he was like talking to me about like his problems, and I was like listening to it, and I was like, and I finally came to the conclusion. I'm like, he was talking about with his girlfriend, and I came to the conclusion. I'm like, he's like, I think your perfect girlfriend would be someone that would be like your sugar mama, like she would like she would take care of you, even though he was double
Yeah.
masculine. The fact that he was like a number three,
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you need like this girl was like, okay, we're gonna go here. I'll take care of it. I'll buy the stuff. I'll take care of it. You just do your just relax.
Yeah.
And his face suddenly looks so guilty. And then like he looks at me. He's like, is that okay? I'm like, of course it is. Why not?
Yeah.
You go to work, you make the money, and then you give her the money,
Yeah.
and then she'll manage everything. He's like,
Yeah.
that sounds perfect. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I don't mind just working, giving her the money. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to match any of this stuff. And he looks so guilty at first, right? And then I was like, you're number three. You have to like
Yeah.
you have to own your type. Like, this is you. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to
Yeah.
communicate it.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're a little bit more. You're high maintenance, but it's fine. He's like, I'm high maintenance. I'm like, yeah, you are, man. He's like, he's like, he's like, and he's like, huh. He's like thought about it. He wasn't like upset or anything. He was just like
No.
thinking about it. It's like, huh. He kind of dawned on him like he is.
Hmm.
He's like,
Hmm.
huh. So I'm like, yeah, like as a number three, like the perfect life for number three actually is everything's outsourced. Like you have a personal trainer that you go to, so you don't have to worry about fitness. They tell you what to do, and you do the workout, and then they'll praise you because you have like high flex. So you need people to like, you know, tell you, it's like, you're amazing. He's like, oh yeah, my coach always praised me. I love it. He's like, there you go.
Hmm.
Except yeah, I'm like, yeah, you need coaches, you need like, nutritionists, meal prep, but like whatever, someone has you just give them the money, they do it for you. That's a life of number three. He's like, huh. It's like, it's like I was like, yeah, you gotta do you. Your type is different, right? Like every type is different.
Right.
Like the perfect number three will that's the way they would have to operate, right? You know.
Definitely. Definitely.
That's why
Yeah.
twos and threes they get along because like the
Yeah.
three
I think
like
it's actually funny you should mention like the giving the money thing
yeah,
because we've actually said so my he hates paperwork like managing and he has his own company
yeah,
and generally speaking like with his exes and now also me I kind of have to jump in and like hey did you do the paperwork did you send in the papers to your to you to the what's it called revisor
the
the
tax
one who kind of the tax things like anything that's
bookkeepers
like not yeah never mind you get what I mean like things surrounding it that's not his speciality
like
but
admin stuff.
yeah admin stuff like
Okay,
I'll go in and remind him to the point where he's like maybe you should start your own company and then I'll or like I should hire you basically and then
that's
we'll
you.
make this deal. Yeah, yeah. So the plan is that he's going to hire me, and then it's my job to kind of keep tabs on his receipts and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and make sure it's organized and send it away because he just can't. Like it's like I feel really bad for him because it brings so much anxiety. He's like, I know I got to do this thing, I know I got to send this email, and I just
yeah.
don't want to. I can't. And I'm like, it's okay, baby, you can do it, you can do it. And so we just kind of agreed that, yeah, no, let's outsource it to me so I can do it instead. Yeah.
I love number threes. They're so funny. I yeah, one of my best friends is a number three, and I remember like we're a big fan of. Do you know WWE wrestling? Like like
Oh, I know what it is, but I've not seen like
yeah,
anything.
but
Yeah.
you know what it is, right? Like
Hmm.
like it's popular. So I'm a big fan. So is my friend. We've been friends since we were kids, right? And then they were coming to my city, Vancouver, Canada, to have a live show, right? So I told him about it, and then and so he goes up to me. He's like, Kendrick, can you buy the ticket? I'll just give you the money. And can you also manage the ticket? I'm like, okay. And then
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want to take a taxi there or take a public transportation. Can you drive there and like I'll just give you money to pay for the parking? I know it's expensive. I'll just pay for the parking. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, okay, like it's fine. It's like I was like, man, it's number threes. Like they don't want to manage anything. Like they just
No. But
like
it's nice when they own it though, and they're upfront about it, I think.
well, he
Like
gets
you
the
said,
money,
you
so
should
it's
just
fine.
get like, yeah, yeah, right. Just make a deal, make it fair, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's really great that you said like, hey, you should just like give the money to your like just have a sugar mama, do the work, give her the money. And he's like, I can do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, why not? Right, go for it. Whatever works for you.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, you're not less of a man for doing this.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is what makes you happy. It's just this type. So you
I
need to
just sorry for interrupting. I'm just realizing that I have to take a ferry in like 15 minutes
sure,
from
sure.
the island to get to the hospital, so maybe
We'll
wrap
wrap
up.
it up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. So how much time do we have? Like 5 minutes or what?
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, no, I think it's interesting as a number two that you actually feel happy that you are doing this. But as a number two, I'm kind of curious because I have number two friends, right? I noticed that when I'm with my number two friends and I'm the one managing stuff, they look so happy. They're like, we could take a break. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. I'm like, you can help. They're like, no, no, no. We'll give you the
Mhm.
money. You do it. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, can I give you the money? You do it. They're like, no, no, you volunteered already. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
funny because it's simultaneously really fucking exhausting. So you need a break, especially for me. Like, what the fuck? I have a double extroverted social type, and then my two top animals are
yeah,
introverted.
yeah.
Why?
It's
What?
harder for you. It's gonna be worse for you.
Why? Why? I'm tired all the time, and it makes sense.
Actually, though, it helps you too, though, because it forces you to use your
Yes.
play blast.
Yes. It
So
does.
you
It
become more
does.
balanced as a result.
Yes.
That's why I'm talking to you right now, and I'm like, you're not the most blast lasty of the blast last I've spoken to. I think the
No, it's such
response.
a good counter to it,
Yeah,
honestly. Like, it makes me so fucking tired, but I'm like, I wouldn't want to have it any other way because I'm like kind of like an EPIP, like with
yeah,
the consume sleep, like very turbo on the masculine FI, right? And I was like, I should really be leaving the tribe in the dirt, kind of, but I'm not. Why? Because I need to do all the things. I'm getting practice reps in on my TE all the
yeah.
time, which I think is. I'm like, oh God, thank Jesus, thank God. Like I could possibly have tribe issues too upon the last issues.
Yeah.
That I like. Thank you. That's at least something good.
At
Yeah,
least you're a double decider.
yeah. At
Yeah.
least someone on the cider.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
solves like most of the problems in life already, just being a double decider. But
Yeah.
like if someone says, would you change your type? I'm like, no. No, I would
No, me neither. No.
you want be an IP or EJ? No way. No offense. But like no no way. No way. Like
I
that
love the guys. They help me with the computer. They help me figure
yeah.
out my like the schedule missing information. Love you, bless you. Like fuck the pain factor of the swinging the cider
That's fine.
functions. It
Yeah.
seems rough.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't want your problem. I don't
No.
care if you're probably gonna perform better in life than me. Your
Yeah.
problem that is in your head all the time. I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's
Me neither.
not worth it. Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather be
Yeah.
an
No.
EJ. If I wasn't an EP, I'll be an IJ. But I don't want to be like I don't want to be
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The IJs are cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Although I like to be
they're
an EP though.
yeah. 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 I like being easy too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like
Oh,
I just want to hug the decider. I'm like, oh, it's okay.
yeah.
It's fine. It's not. You're
Everything's gonna be
safe.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I have most of my friends are actually deciders actually, so I'm cool with them.
Yeah.
I like deciders a lot. But
Me too.
they don't believe me that some people don't have people problems, you know,
Mm.
and like you can have observable.
Yeah.
But anyways, I because we're wrapping this up soon, I want to make sure I ask you some questions.
Mhm.
Um, so because you're studying to be a doctor, that's a specialist job, right? Are you planning on being more in like a supervisory role eventually in the medical field? Is that something that you kind of like strive for, or you feel like it's gonna fall into your lap eventually, or do you think like, oh, this is gonna be my specialist kind of like box that I'm gonna do?
I
Like,
think it's my specialist box.
okay,
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that after seeing the my social type, I'm like, maybe I would be really great at like being a doctor, but then also like being a boss and
yeah,
taking on those responsibilities
yeah,
to like having that medical expertise, but also like a supervisor position. That might be really good. So we'll see. Like, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I've very much been contemplating, like, maybe that would be a good option for me. But also, I could also make it my chance to actually have something to stand on like by my own, like my own specialized. That's
right,
not wrong either.
gotcha. All right. Well, it sounds like a good idea to have that as your. Well, it could be both. So I guess
Yeah,
this box and
works
also
either way. Hmm.
exactly. And then to wrap this up, do you have any last minute questions for me before we end this call?
Also, so many. Like, I want to ask you about, like, what the fuck's any? What? How does SI work? Like,
Really?
is that the yeah, stuff like that, it confuses me. Any SI confuses me a lot. But like, I really have to go. So maybe another time.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do a follow-up in the future.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
anyways, Elsa, thanks for coming out and sharing more about yourself. And it's very interesting to learn about your type. It's a very contradictory but complementary at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
that was fun. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.